Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 49 of the JuvoHub podcast. We have a distinguished guest coming to the show today. We look forward to introducing her in just a moment and hearing about her career in property management, why she loves teaching about leadership, how she's demonstrated effective leadership, and some practical tips for all of us who are working to provide leadership, not only for ourselves, but for our teams. So Mark Howell from Howell Creative Concepts, how are you, my friend?
I am great. Thanks for having me. Very excited about this conversation. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. So Velda Simpson is in the house. What's happening? How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
Doing good. Thank you so much for being on the show. We're so grateful to have you. And so let's talk to our audience about who you are. So what are you doing now? Give us the kind of like the short version of your career in property management and, you know, what the journey looked like.
Actually, I'm working as a managing broker for Real Pro Realty, which I'm super excited about it. I kind of was birthed 7 years ago, but I'm actually excited about refocusing. And I know we talked about that a lot before this, about focusing. So I'm excited about focusing on my goals and careers as far as property management. So Real Pro Realty is everything that I've done for the last 25 years or so. So it encompasses property management, it encompasses commercial sales and leasing, a little everything, multifamily. So I'm excited about it. And like I said, I've been doing this for about 25 years, started out as a leasing consultant and just kind of evolved into being a managing broker here.
Yeah.
So thank you for having me.
Nice to have you. I remember, I know it's been years since we met, but it was at the Institute of Real Estate Management, a function of some sort. And I know our chapter deeply appreciates your contributions and the role that you have led in helping other students coming into the industry and helping our chapter with various topics that you've been teaching. So we wanted to focus a bit more today just on leadership, because I know that's what you've been teaching a lot more of recently. What, as you look back on your career and take this from the perspective of, all right, so we got younger ones who are listening, coming out of college, listening to the show, and even us who've been in the industry for a while, we always love these tips. Like, what has helped you, you know, keep yourself focused and be your own leader in order to continue along this path in property management? Long question, but I hope that
is a long question. But I think just great mentors, having a great mentor has really helped shape my career. I started out, like I said, in property management, and just having someone believe in me, even when I not necessarily believed in myself, and said, hey, you can do it, Velda. Like, wow, I can. And after a while, it's like riding a bicycle. You start saying, yes, I can. And eventually, guess what? You're doing marathons. Right. So it's a great feeling, been really rewarding for me. As far as a teaching career, I actually moved into teaching probably in 2015. I got introduced to it over at Kennesaw State Continuing Education, teaching a property management course. One of the things when you say style that I like, I'm more of a coach. I have a coaching style. So I like to encourage and inspire young students of mine to get into property management. So it could be a career of choice. So I actually like that. I definitely love to encourage them, to empower them so they can find their way. So it gives me joy to see that, you know, just that light in them, just kind of say, you know what, this is something I can do. I can be great at this.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, like what kind of feedback, like when what are some typical questions that you see that come from someone who's new to the industry? They walk into one of your classes for the first time, and like, what's the sense and feeling about young people coming into our industry now? I know that wasn't one of the original questions that I had down for you, but it kind of just came to my mind. Like,
a lot of time, I think that when the students come, they really don't know what property management is. You know, you may think it's your rent lady that takes rent. And, you know, if you try to explain to your grandmother, you're like, Mama, what do you do? You know, your grandparent mother asks you, what do you do? for them to make it simple so they understand. So, hey, grandma, I'm the one that collects the rent at the the landlord or the manager in the office. It kind of helps them. So a lot of times they don't really understand how deep property management is, like the levels of things that you can do whether it be leasing, whether it be, you could, of course, you can go into assistant management. You can manage so many types of properties. If you look at your window now, even if you're at home, see single family homes, right? There's a property manager that handles that, right? So I kind of opened their mind to explore more than just what they came in thinking that, hey, I'm getting ready to be a leasing consultant sitting on a property of a 200 unit or 300 unit apartment complex all day, which some people may find boring, but it's so many things you can do. You can do asset management. If you like numbers, you can get into asset management. You can get into inspections. You can do so much with property management. And I've just, through the years, have evolved. And I guess I'm kind of a person that likes to, I admit I get bored too. So I think that's why I reinvent myself over and over again. So I've done multifamily, done tax credit, which is a wonderful thing. And then I've got into commercial, which I've been in the last 18 years, I've done commercial. So it's a little different industry, medical space. So it's so much more than what you just think when you think about property management that you can do. Anything with 4 walls and a roof, we can manage.
I have to tell you, I think it's so interesting. For the longest time, even before I got into the business, I guess I had that mentality too, that I didn't really know what people did in a leasing office. I just remembered when I got my first apartment that I thought, well, the guy that showed me around was just really cool. And it looked like all he did was just sit in the office and have fun and tell jokes. And so I love that what you're saying is, when you can really educate anyone, I almost said young people, but it's not just young people that are getting into this industry, right? We're of all ages. You can start. What I love about this industry is you can start at any time in your life, in your career, and turn it into something that you want it to truly be. So it's not just, I hate the phrase, someone said this just last week, I'm just a leasing consultant. I was like, don't say that. Your being a leasing consultant is the most valuable, most important thing that this company, that this industry needs. Without them, we wouldn't have a way to make this money that this multi-billion-dollar industry feeds on, right? And so, but what I love what you just said is that there is so much more that they could do if they really want it. And I don't know, Velda, if you're like me, but I always see people, if they've been in the industry for longer than 6 months, you're in it. You're going to find your way around, whether you go on the vendor side or you move up the ladder, but pretty much after 6 months whether you're going to stay or whether you're going to go. So
you either like it or you love it. It's or just say this is not for me.
That's
because
right.
You definitely are. It's involved, and so it's funny how you said you started. I started just because I needed a place to stay. I was in college, and I said, "Hey, leasing consultant, a place to stay at a discounted rate. I need to go." I can do that. I can do that. Sure.
Isn't it funny how I think a lot of us fall into this or fell into this industry because of a need or just a random need. And then look at us today, all these 20 something odd years later, where our careers have gone. So I definitely think that's a misconception that, this industry is full of opportunity. It's all what you make of it.
And I think that's why I started teaching, to be honest, Mark, is because I wanted people to understand this is a rewarding career. Like we fell into it, but I transitioned into teaching because I wanted people to understand that you can make a great living, a wonderful living. We have tons and tons of brochures. We're trying to educate people like, hey, this is a win. This is a win-win chicken. What do they say? Win-win. I don't know. I'm bad with terrible.
It's winner chicken dinner.
Yes, this is a winner chicken dinner. It really is. And I think that more and more of my students, they come back. I'd be so excited when they come back and they tell me like, hey, I didn't like property management, but guess what? I'm selling homes. And I said, well, it's still in the same real estate world. So they're still finding their niche. So it's just, it really feels good to hear the stories that people come back and hear you.
I love that.
You said something earlier, both of you, that you don't have to be in your 20s coming out of college in order to be in property management. And I thought that was just an excellent statement on both your part. We've had other guests on the show, Velda, that have talked about, other industries that people were in retail or in hospitality and have come over to the industry and have just been fantastic because they have a certain personality type or certain skill set that is an easy crossover. Have you seen the same thing? Has that been kind of your experience where others who were maybe in another industry, then you've talked to them or they've seen someone or met someone and they've come over to the property management side?
For sure. It is a lot, what I call them life learners. So oddly enough, I know when we started teaching, you would think that it's like a lot of millennials or in our classrooms, but it's actually not. It's a mixture. So you have people that have retired, interested in real estate, trying to find out, like sometimes when you're in college and you may decide you want to be a doctor or a lawyer and you do things because you're trying to make money and you may not be necessarily what you find that you enjoy, but it was good for you during that period of time. So a lot of times people are finding their purpose and finding their way to reconnect and find something to do that's worthwhile. So I actually have found like a lot of what I would say mature adults, I don't know what else to call us, but mature adults have embraced it, and they give more than just say good management or good customer service. I think we instill so many things in people's lives because we intertwine in their lives. We spend a lot of times with people's families. So if you have a 500 unit multifamily community, they're part of your community. You know so much about your residents, their kids, and when they come back, I can be at the grocery store and somebody say, "Hey, are you you remember me?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." But they'll come up to me and they'll tell me like, "Hey, you instill just little things in their lives," and they're just small, young, like 16, 17, or 12-year-old kids. Mm-hmm. So you'll be surprised how being a property manager, how we touch so many people's lives.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So true.
You just said something that made me think of another visual. I'm that visual guy. I get all these pictures in my head when our guests say certain things. Mark says some things. So we use the expression, and this conversation too, where it's going is fantastic because now we're on career path. And when I think of a path, a path is just, typically it's just this. It's a path. That's what it is. It's going in a direction of some sort. But when you think of property management and everything that both of you have stated, it's like the path has got all of these, trails that are going off of it. And there's just, for our audience and for what all of us have experienced too. I mean, I think we're living proof of it right here. The three of us on this podcast. It's like, where were we 10 years ago? Where were we 15 years ago? Where were we 5 years ago? And where are we today? And it's like that path was not just this one direction by any stretch of the imagination. It's like we saw what was in front of us, and it's like, oh, you know what? That looks. I want to go right, and that's where I want to go and kind of see it, from that perspective. So it's very, very cool to hear that, from both of you. So bringing it back around a little bit, Velda, to I guess the Fortitude. You've taught a lot of classes, like you said, a lot of different backgrounds. What have you been saying, or what's been kind of included in some of your classes that you teach that provide that fortitude, that give them the courage to know, even because they may hear other things about the industry too. Our industry is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. We're all trying to do our best to keep it growing and keep it successful. So is there anything in particular that you use as you're teaching classes to help people make that decision? Like then when they walk out of that classroom, they're like, yep,
that's what I want to do.
What I want to do.
I think a lot of times people know or have a general sense of what they want to do in life. I think for me, encouragement is huge, like just to inspire some young professionals to realize that you can do almost anything that if you can do anything you can imagine, right? So for me, I love to inspire, and I love to find and ask questions about what it is that you like. So not everybody is a people person. And I know they may say, oh, to be a property manager, you have to be a people person. You don't necessarily have to be a people person to be a property manager. To be a leasing consultant, you do have to be more customer oriented, to be in their face and say, hey, this is a great space, show the space and show more of your personality. But you can do, again, and when you ask the right questions, and the questions may be, what do you like to do? What do you spend time doing? What do you enjoy doing? Whether it be encouragement, or do you like the numbers again I mentioned, or do you like just inspections, or if you're going out looking at properties and just handling all the different types of inspections that we have to do, which is part of it. I think Mark mentioned that vendor. I've had several colleagues that have went over to the vendor side. So they've done property management for say 20 years, and then they evolved into being a supplier. So whether it be trash service or landscape service. So again, it's all about evolving. So you can do so much. You just got to ask the right questions. And I think a lot of times people don't know what to ask. And so I think I'm an open book. So if you have a question, it's no question's a dumb question.
Right.
So I've always had an open door policy. So if it's something you want to know, ask, and I'll be more forthcoming with whatever information I have. And if I don't know it, I will actually try to find that for you and connect you with the right person, because we are a family. As large as property management is, and it's huge, but it's only one Velda Simpson, right? It's only one Mark Howell. And if I talk about it long enough, even if you don't know my name, which Velda's unique, if you describe me, someone's like, yeah, it got to be Velda, right? So I try to tell people to be the best that you can be, because it is a small industry and we all are family. And believe me, I think that's what makes me love property management so much, because we are a family. And every organization I've been in, whether it be IRM or just the Atlanta Commercial Board of Realtors, is all about helping someone go to the next level. So that's why anything that's encouraging and helping someone achieve their dreams, going to the next level, that's who I am. I love to pour into people the best and pull out the best out of them and giving them my best. And that's what makes me who I am.
That's so
awesome.
amazing. And it's hard to make a comment after that. I mean,
Yeah.
That was so beautifully said. And I was listening to you and I was imagining all of these, like Jonathan, you said, pathways or trails off of the path. And I like to, use visuals in my mind as I'm listening to the conversation. And it's funny to me that you're so right. You get to decide whether or not you want to stay on this particular path, or if you want to go off-road and go down a trail. Like, what I love about it is you get to make your own path. It's not pre-chosen for you. It's wherever you want to go, and you can change that direction. You can change that path at any time. But it is exactly what you said. It's having the people that that you're surrounding yourself with, people that inspire you, that want the best for you, and you'll know when you're around those people and when you're not. And so I always encourage people that if you don't feel like you're working for an organization or around people that are supportive of your paths or your ideas, then maybe it is time to look for other trails to go on and find your people, what I call it, because along that way somewhere you start gathering what I call your people, and that's what I've loved about being in this industry for 24 years is I have gathered so many people that they are family to me still to this day, because I found those people that inspired me, that motivated me, that helped me grow. And that is exactly what I want to give back to someone or others, because that's what makes this world go round, right? Is I want to do it for someone else too.
I want to do it for someone else. That's so true.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like we're getting into all kinds of landscape metaphors here. Paths and finding things in the forest.
Find our people. I know.
That's
I love
right.
it. It takes a village. It takes a village. And property management is a village. It really is.
Absolutely. Is. Absolutely. Well, Velda, man, it has been an extreme pleasure to have you on the show today. Thank you so much. Just a couple of questions we always ask our guests as we wrap up the show. Do you have maybe I guess maybe in your leadership classes or personally, do you have like a typical quote or a saying or anything like that that you has resonated with you recently, or that you use often for yourself or for your students?
I think one thing that probably stands out is Nelson Mandela quote. And I love it because of fear. A lot of people come up to me and they say, Velda, you just do anything. You just be doing it. I'm like, yeah, I'm afraid. I'm petrified, but I do it anyway, right? I am terrified, but I look like it's seamless, right? But I'm petrified. But so one of the quotes I learned is that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. So it's not that I don't have the fear, right? So I learned, this is what he says, and I love this. I've learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. And a brave man is not what he does not feel afraid, but that he conquers what? He conquers fear.
Yeah.
And fear paralyzes us. So, that is probably the worst, the thing that keeps us from doing that great thing.
Right.
That's right.
That is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I don't think we've heard that before in the show. Anything close to that, Mark?
That's great. Such great advice. Love that quote.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much, Velda. So how can people connect with you? Tell people about your company. Can people connect with you on social? Make sure that they have all those paths to you.
Yes, all those paths. I know we learned about trails, but Velda Simpson at IG is Velda A. Simpson on IG, Twitter, Facebook, Velda at realprorealty.com is my email, and you can always call me. LinkedIn, Velda Simpson, number 404-234-3023. Thank you.
Awesome.
Oh,
awesome.
wonderful.
We'll make sure we have all those links in the show notes so people can reach out to you and connect with you. So thank you for being an example in our industry, being a mentor and leader for so many. And thank you for being on the show today. Mark Howell, how can people connect with you, my friend?
Yes, thank you. It's Mark. It's Howell Creative Concepts, but it's Mark at Howell, which is spelled a little differently. HOWL creativeconcepts.com. I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, all those social sites. But yes, please reach out if you have any questions. If you have a topic that you are passionate about that you want to bring on our show, let us know. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think we've covered our objectives for the class today, Mark. Today we wanted to learn about leadership and finding your path. And we actually went and found some trails as part of the whole thing. So we went much further than we thought. So objectives have been accomplished and class is dismissed. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you in our next show.
Thank you again. You have a great day. Bye-bye.